Hello and welcome to another HS Gaming live stream. Today is going to be a very short stream as I'm unfortunately rather busy today, but I wanted to make this video so that one of my friends, actually two of my friends, have recently started playing Star Trek Online, and I'd like to go through and help them get acquainted with the game rather than muddling through, trying to figure out things, and not get confused by a lot of the information that appears on the screen. If I take some time and go through the character creation process, the initial stages of UI movements, and what you've got on your user interface, we will be able to hopefully get people more acquainted with the game, up to speed quicker, and not dying so often. So first up, we're on the basic character creation screen. So literally, when you create an account, you'll be faced with this screen without any characters on the left. Obviously, these are my characters that I've got so far on this free account that I've got. Star Trek Online is one of the great free-to-play games out there. Its free-to-play model is very good. Get access to everything in the game. There's no paywalls that get in the way of things, unlike, say, Star Wars: The Old Republic, where it says it's free to play, but unless you pay, you're gonna be extremely restricted. Whereas Star Trek Online, not so much. So you've created your brand new account on the Star Trek Online webpage. You've downloaded the client. You've downloaded the game, and it's ready to go. You've launched into the game, and you hit the new character button. First up, you have to choose a faction. The character creation system has been completely revamped in the last 2 weeks, so it's a lot more user-friendly. These days we've got several factions to pick from. Back when the game first started, I've been playing since the original beta of this game. So we literally just had Starfleet and the Klingon Defense Force back then, and they were at war. When you start the game, you are at war still with them. As you play through the years from 2409 to where we are at the moment in the Star Trek Online timeline of towards the end of 2410, I think we're at the moment. So the most recent edition was Discovery Starfleet. Came hot on the heels of the Dominion. The original series, Starfleet, fantastic, brilliant playthrough for the tutorial is amazing. The initial 10 missions that you get as an original series captain are amazing. The Romulan Republic, I have to say, is the best faction to play if you're literally just on to play a story. They have some amazing missions that are completely story focused. They've got a good mix of ground combat, space combat, and character development, story development, and so forth. And you play this. You also get to pick who you join, whether it's the Starfleet side or the Klingon Defense Force side, after you get through some of the missions. So you're not like aligned to any of those two major powers right from the word go. As with the Romulan Republic, you're a fledgling government, and you are basically finding your feet in the galaxy after the destruction of Romulus at the start of the 2009 Star Trek series, where the Prime timeline separated off into the Kelvin timeline. So Star Trek Online is still in the Prime timeline, so has to deal with those developments. The Klingon Defense Force has seen a lot of love over the recent years. When it was launched at the beginning of the game, although many years ago, the Klingon faction was literally just a PvP faction. You were there solely to fight each other and to fight the Starfleet players. Drawback of that is that most Starfleet players didn't want to PvP. We just wanted to play the game, play a Starfleet character, go through as Captain whoever of the USS whatever, and we just wanted to play the game. We didn't want to go fight any Klingons outside of PvE. So the Klingon faction has received a lot of love over the years. They've now got an entire storyline just like Starfleet does. So they are definitely worth looking. If you wanted to play a Klingon, they have plenty of ships to choose from. As the Starfleet's obviously got the most because that's what the Star Trek TV shows were focused on. Romulan Republic, in terms of the actual ships you get to pick from, they have a limited number, but once you've joined either the Klingon or Starfleet factions, you have access to all those as well, all their ships. Original series, you start out in 2161, and temporal shenanigans happen, and you end up in 2409. You have access to that ship in the background, I think it's Pioneer class. It's your tier 1 ship essentially. You use that for the missions in the 2409 stuff. Not 2409, 2161 stuff, that when you start out the original series era stuff. Dominion, you can only play at level 60 upwards. Dominion characters are your endgame characters. They are there to progress a amazing storyline that's based on Deep Space Nine characters. All but a few Deep Space Nine voice actors or actors came back to become voice actors for their characters within the game. Got Julian Bashir, Kira Nerys, Odo, Darkham Rex, and a few others. Cisco obviously not, because he's a member of the Prophets now, and Cole Meany unfortunately didn't reprise his role as Chief O'Brien. We did get Garrick, and he's amazing in the Dominion storyline. Discovery Starfleet is currently on the drip feed at the moment, so you've got a brand new tutorial, actually really well done, revamped tutorial. It's almost identical to the classic Starfleet tutorial, but done from a Discovery era standpoint. And you also have the benefit of having Tilly with you throughout the tutorial, and everyone loves Tilly from Discovery. She's one of the best. Regardless of your opinions of Discovery as a whole, Tilly, everyone is silly for. Today we are going to create a Klingon Defense Force character. I am going to create one that is a tactical officer, I believe. Yeah, that's the plan, tactical officer. So, select Klingon, hit next. Klingons, we've obviously got each faction has a different set of species that you can pick from, with the exception of the Dominion. You can only pick Jem'Hadar, but there's 2 different types of Jem'Hadar depending on whether you've bought any extra packs. While this is a free-to-play game, they do need to make money. Somehow they are still a business, and they do still have to pay servers and people to actually continue making new stuff. So they do bring out like extra mini packs that you buy through the Zen store. So for the Dominion stuff, you had access to either the starter pack, which gives you just the extra like Jem'Hadar Vanguard, which is more tactical focused Jem'Hadar species. That you've got the just classic Jem'Hadar species that everyone get access to. Same as what you see in Deep Space Nine. They're basically the old guard from 30 years prior, during the Dominion War and so forth. And then you've got the Jem'Hadar Vanguard. They're the ones that have been worked on by the Dominion since, and the founders have been tinkering with the genetic code and have developed the Vanguard. Makes complete sense from a storyline point of view. Jem'Hadar clearly were not enough to go and kick ass against the Federation, the Klingons, the Romulans. So they've tweaked their genetic code over time to try and make a more powerful Jem'Hadar, and they ended up with a Jem'Hadar Vanguard. So you can buy that as a starter pack, and you've got other things which you like, a huge Dominion pack of ships that you can buy and so forth. Whereas with the Klingons, you've got access to Klingons, Gorn, Ethians, Nausicaans, Orions, and the Alien. Every faction bar the Dominion has access to Alien. Alien is a complete and utter customization option. You can tweak everything to your choice. So it's not limited to a set known species, so you can make whatever you want. If it's a species not in the game already, the Alien maker pretty much get you what you want. So for instance, there's no Vorta in the game if you were playing the Dominion, so you could make, if you wanted to play as a Vorta, you could make an Alien. Actually, yeah, the Dominion one does have access to the Alien thing. Sorry, my mistake. Actually, let's check. No, it is Jem'Hadar. The Alien thing is for the bridge officers. You can make a bridge officer that's a Vorta. Back to Klingons. Anyway, so Aliens is completely customization. Each species has a little write-up, and each species generally has their own species bonus. The character generator is a bit laggy for some reason. Don't know why. I'm making tactical officer, so I'm going to make a tactical Klingon. So, gonna keep it nice and simple today. Gonna just pick that head preset. However, you can go into advanced mode, change things around through there. Give him a top knot. Detail thingy coloring. Eye color. Random stuff. Yes. If you went into advanced, you've got all the classic cryptic sliders. But we're gonna keep. He's a tactical officer. He doesn't want to be relaxed. He wants to be rough. Grr. 6'5" is all for a Klingon. Put him down to 6. Uniform. Not that one. All series styling there, but not quite with the base. Go with that one. Next. Right, so you can either enter a name yourself and enter a ship name. It comes with a ship name by default, but it's completely from their random list. So I'm not very good at naming things, so I literally just go through until contacts till I see a name that I like. Same with the ship, the IKS. Why, Tom? Why? We'll go with that. Engage. So the tutorial is going to ask me whether I wanted to skip it or not because I've done the tutorial before. If you've never played Star Trek Online, please play the tutorial. Don't skip it. There's so much to this game that you will not understand and if you don't play the tutorial. Skip. The tutorial also gives you basics of ship combat, ground combat, everything you want to know about Star Trek Online. So, this is my way of showing you guys how to use your interfaces, set up your game, what the different settings are. I'm going to play the tutorial, by having done it many times. And as you can hear, Michael Dorn reprises his role as Worf in the game. Okay.
People you can interact with have icons above their heads. You
Icon.
can press the interaction key, default F, to talk with them.
Right, so your UI. This is the ground UI. You can save different UIs for your characters. So with this one, we've obviously got 1 bar of powers. We know this is a MMORPG, you are going to have a lot more than just 1 set of powers.
To look around, hold down the right mouse button and move your mouse.
Well, they just said about the movement, so yeah. Annoyingly, for those of us from the old days of first-person shooters, A and D, they've got it as rotate instead of strafe. So one thing I always do, is literally the first thing I do, is rebind those keys. Now, as you are a brand new player to the game, we're going to get rid of this flashy green thing. Go away, what's new. Read it if you want. It actually has some very interesting information for any updates if you haven't been up to date with the news. Hit your options tab up here, or hitting escape also brings up the same thing. Go to options, and then go to keybinds. So I want turn left to be Q and turn right to be E, and I want move left and move right and OK. So to save me having to constantly do that every time I made a new character, I can go into here and go to bind save file keys.txt and then hit enter. Now I've already done it, so I don't want to overwrite my files because I've got other keys that I've rebound for other characters. But you hit bind save file keys.txt and it saves a text file in your Star Trek Online directory that will have all your keybinds saved, ready to go. And if you started a new character and you wanted to quickly get those keybinds up and going, it's /bind load file keys.txt. Now, doing that, my keys are now all set up how I had them on the keys.txt file. Your UI, you don't particularly want a tiny little chat window like that, as that's pathetic. I want to expand that so you can actually see what people are chatting about. MMORPGs, as with any other online game, is going to have the scum of the universe as well as the really nice people playing. You will see some utter crap in the global chat. Feel free to switch it off. Go to right click on your chat, scroll through and make sure you have your zone chat switched off. Local chat's optional. Most people talk the shit in the zone chat, and you're good. You can set up your new tabs. You can right click and add new tab, and you can say I want this as a team chat or team. Then you've got your chat options, so I want to have it as chat for teams or groups. Get rid of all that, and that way I just have team and team up as my tab. Oh, it didn't save. God damn it. Team. Got to hit the rename button. There we are. Right, so now if I join a team, just team chat will appear under that tab, so I'm not having it flooded in, mixed in with all the rubbish in there. Your NPC chat thing is great if you've missed some dialogue. It'll come up in purple in your NPC chat. Your combat thing is for tracking your damage and output. For doing a expanded power tray, as I said earlier, you are going to want to have more buttons. Adjust the number of trays. This key here, set it to 3, 2, however many you want. Always recommend 3 given how many powers you end up having as a ground combatant. Move your powers around however you want, it's up to you. Keep in mind that when you get a kit later on, I brought up that screen by pressing U for uniform. You'll have a kit module in there that will give you bonuses, and each one of these kit modules creates a new power on your power tray. So keep in mind you're going to need space for your masses of kit modules. And I like to have it so that I've got my hyper spray down there. It's your devices menu. Another annoyance. Fly-in text of people opening boxes to try and get you to open a box and spend money on keys in order to open boxes. Turn that off. Drop down here. Notification settings. Open reward pack. Fly-in off. Open reward pack. Chat off. That reward thing will have appeared in my chat as it did. Now, because I've turned off the notifications, I won't have those annoying fly-ins. I won't have any of the other crap that turns up on my screen. Ground combat. You start out with the game with a pistol, and as a Klingon Federation people, you got to go and do the missions where you get given your weapons and so forth. You can set auto fire on any of your standard weapons. Space, it defaults to being on. Ground, it doesn't. You have to set it yourself. So right click on the power that you want to have as auto fire. You've got a little green border around it to indicate that it is now active. If I press that button, so I've just pressed number 1, or you can click it with left click. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, that all represent keyboard commands. I've got an MMO mouse, makes it a lot easier. So it's now flashing to say it's active. If I target an enemy, it will automatically fire that that bolt setting at the enemy. The key number 2 is your exploit or your expose attack. If you have that as auto fire, sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does. Depends on the weapon. I try not to have it active as an auto fire thing because you want a little more fine control over that. For instance, if you're using a sniper rifle, you want it to only use you only want to use your sniper shot when they're exposed, so you cause the most damage. Or if you're using, say, like the photonic synchronization rifle, the Ghostbuster gun that you get during the Phantoms missions, which are the optional missions later on in the game, you only want to use that when the Phantoms that you're up against, the Davidians, start phasing in and out of your reality. When they sort of go a bit glowy and see-through, you hit the special and it does a lot more damage. Moving on. Let's go talk to this guy. Hi, Kagan.
Sir, we are nearing the end of the shift. I have logged the watch into the duty logs. I recommend approving them and the records of battle before Captain Gerlach arrives.
Very well, Lieutenant.
Sir, everything awaiting your approval is on the console to the right of the main view screen.
That'll be all. Forewarning. Tutorials do not like you not completing them. If you exit without completing the tutorial, sometimes it breaks.
Walk up and press F to interact with a console.
Star Trek Online will sometimes have special bonuses that they do for brand new characters during certain periods. For instance, with the run-up to the Iconium War, we had the Delta Recruit session, where you got any new character would be considered a Delta Recruit, doing a lot of temporal shenanigans with that, and the Iconium War fed into that side. So you would be going through the missions, your future self has given you a little device in which you unlock hidden things within those missions that aren't there for anyone else other than Delta Recruits. Which is really cool, because it's a nice little flavour piece, encourages you to make new characters and everything. Those bonuses are only set after you've finished your tutorial. You have to go through the tutorial. Now, I made a series of characters during the last Delta Recruit session. I'm hoping there'll be a new one for the Temporal Recruits, and we've just gone through a Dominion one recently. I left my Klingon character after having unlocked the Delta Recruit system at the later stage in this tutorial where you have to go to bed. When I logged back in, because I hadn't finished the tutorial properly, I just logged out halfway through the tutorial. Bed was no longer interactable, and the game support people couldn't move the mission on for me. I lost that character, I lost that Delta Operative thing, which is only available during certain very limited time periods. and it took like 3 years between the first Delta Officer thing and the second Delta Officer thing. I don't particularly want to wait another 3 years. So be careful when you're doing a tutorial. Approve logs.
You have completed a task by approving the duty logs. Return to your contact, Lieutenant Gagan.
We've obviously messed with this UI a little bit. We've expanded the keys, the power tray. We've expanded this. We've added a new thing there. If I wanted to save that, so I would be able to just automatically have that quick loaded onto any new character. Go to your settings, options, HUD, save UI. Now I've already got a UI saved for my other characters. I don't want to write it, so I'm not going to click that this time. But if I hit save UI, all this screen and how I've got it set up will be saved. Now if I hit load UI, ignore what it says about keybinds. It's rubbish. You still need to use the bind load file command. You hit load UI, it will load the saved UI file along with your chat settings, so those chat tabs that I was making. So I hit load. As you can see, everything's resized to how I've got it on my other characters, so I keep everything the same. I've got my chat tabs that are set up. Yeah, it even defaults to the last tab I had active when I saved the UI. My fleet. Fleets are fun. Get a fleet. Talk to Gagan.
I took it upon myself to make some adjustments to the standard disruptor target practice program on the holodeck. I think you'll enjoy the improvements.
I look forward to it, Lieutenant. Kapla!
Captain on the bridge.
Aye, Captain.
Look, I see you kept my ship from blowing up during the night watch. Get to the racks as soon as you can. Your next shift starts in 6 hours. First Officer Duran and I will take it from here.
Transfer in command. 6 hours rest between shifts. Live to work, eh? Rather than work to live. Bum, 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 bum. Interacting with everything on the screen is using either clicking the pop-ups or hit F on your keyboard to activate your various buttons. Up. So, as discussed, we have this set up so it's auto-firing. It's not flashing anymore, so it's not active. If I hit 1, it now is active, it's now flashing again. If I hit tab to target the target, or if I clicked it, as you can see it's now auto-firing. I didn't even need to do it. Tab, auto-firing. Literally tab target, kill the target. Now, you might need to tweak things. I've obviously had my game settings set in the background so that it doesn't switch off. So you want to go into your controls section, scroll down, auto attack, toggle, so it toggles on, toggles off, never cancels. You can set it to whatever you want. You can either maintain the auto attack, toggle it, and non-combat will cancel it, so you'll have to switch it on at the start of the net combat. For the most part, I like toggle never cancels, because that way, as long as I'm still in the same map area, essentially, it will still have that green flashing to indicate that I will be able to just deal with any threats quickly as soon as they appear. I don't have to think about it, it's just done. It will only cancel if I transition between maps, transition between space and ground and so forth, and then I have to reactivate it. Sleep in your rack. Alright, my character has got his gun out at the moment. This is more an RP thing, so I don't want him to have his gun out because I'm on a friendly ship. H for holster. H. Now, go to sleep.
IKS Sigma, this is Captain Jurlek. We are ready to receive the transfer.
Captain Jurlek, this is Captain Khadgar of the IKS Sigma. We're beaming over the Federation prisoner now.
Prisoner received, Sigma. Shields! Raid shields! Battle stations! All crew! Battle stations!
Federation ambush. Federation scum. Okay, so I'm a tactical officer. Different classes of characters have different options. So if I walk up to this person, I get to go, "You call yourself a Klingon? Get up!" As a science officer, I would have been able to see this injured guy. I can't interact with him because I'm a tactical person. If I was a science officer, I would interact with the injured guy and heal him. As a engineer, I would fix these broken vents and sort out the fire and everything. As a tactical officer, I'm not that smart. I don't do engineering. I don't do healing of people. I inspire my fellow Klingon officers. Prepare yourself for Sto-vo-kor.
Kappa, you're alive. This is First Officer Duran, and here's the situation. We took custody of a Federation prisoner from the IKS Sigma. Almost immediately after transport, a Starfleet cruiser showed up and attacked. We took
As if they
some
were after
severe
us.
damage, but we were able to get our shields up before they could beam over. They've launched shuttles and have boarded the ship on the lower decks. Our security teams are tied up all over the ship, so I need your help securing the lower deck. Grab a rifle from the armory locker, and then make your way to the lower decks. I don't know how they were able to enter our shuttle bay, so check the bodies for anything that could give us a clue as to how they were able to board us. One or two of them might be carrying something useful.
Oh dear, I just realised I've been talking about stuff that's happening on the mini-map and I've got a giant blob over the top of it. How silly of me. Right, let's turn off the blob. And show you where I was pointing before. Let's see. Oh, it's not letting me. Okay. Switch. Nope. Okay, so as I was discussing earlier, you have on your mini-map the drop down and then go to notification settings to switch off your notifications, and you've got your cog there, that's your game menu, and you can go to options there. You can actually use the rearrange HUD, so anything that's green here you can actually move around to your heart's content. You can even move that chat thing without even needing to unlock the rearrange HUD thing. It'll snap to location. You can set everything up how you want. I mean, this is loaded up what I play using. So I've got the Endeavour tracker up in the way, out of the way. For my top level characters that use the Endeavour system, comes in handy. Alright, let's get a rifle from the armory locker. Let's see. Armory locker. Okay, so I've now got a Pulsewave assault rifle. It's automatically put into my character's details. However, the system is telling me how to do things here, so you... Ooh, I've also got a bat, that's sweet. Go away. Right. Hit I, inventory, U for uniform, or you can literally hit U and it'll bring up both. You can either left click on here and it'll show everything that's equipable from there. Same with devices, body, shield, and you can do the same with your ship. Or you can literally click and drag. Anything that you can't put it into will have a red box around it. Anything that you can goes in there. So let's have Batleth and my assault rifle. So with a melee weapon you don't want to have your auto fire on, so right click again, switch it off. To switch between your weapon 1 and weapon 2, hit Z. I've got a pulse wave assault rifle there. Pulse wave assault rifles are basically shotguns. They are fun. I like them. Close combat, but very effective. Melee weapons, you can actually get combos and things based on your presses of the button. So I do 1, 1, and then 1 again, or 1, 2. There's a combo. There's a swirly thing. You get the combo screen later on. You can have a look at what is showing up on there. I want my shotgun though. Shotguns are more cool. Turbo lift. Right. So I want to have my autofire switch back on. Shotguns, as you can see, not only does damage but also has a chance of knockback, which is great for controlling your enemy situations. Especially when you've got the right there. Your third key there is a melee attack. So for rifle-based weapons and so forth, it's using a rifle butt. If you've got your melee weapon, it's basically a knockback. Get them slightly away from you and so forth if they've gotten a little too close for comfort. Love shotguns. Pow. Right. Earlier I picked up a loot box. One of the things you want to do is on your very first tab, you want to have enable auto loot switched on so that you don't have to keep selecting what you want to loot. Just walk up to it, press F to loot, and it'll loot all. Oh, bears Captain Jerlak's command codes and contains the following text. Captain Jerlak of the IKS-Y Tom. Why, Tom? We have the prisoner you seek, and I do not wish to be captured or killed. I will permit your boarding shuttles to land on my ship in exchange for my release once you have the prisoner. My crew must never learn of this, so arm your boarding parties and expect resistance once you board.
You recovered that message from the Federation borders? My suspicions about our patak of a captain have been confirmed. I've been seeing signs of Jerlak's cowardice and incompetence for months now. But finally, this is the proof I need to challenge him. I see you are near the brig. I want you to talk to the Federation prisoner there. Find out why he is so valuable, and then report back directly to me. Kapla!
Right. One other thing that most people don't realise is you can move using your keys, or you can left and right click at the same time and you have mouse move. Alright, let's see. Talk section 31 prisoner.
Someone wants to talk. First off, this is Captain Jerlak's ship, correct? And if my hunch is correct, Jerlak allowed the Federation to land in an effort to rescue me. thereby saving his own hide in the process. It's my business to know things. Does First Officer Duran know of the captain's betrayal? If she does, I expect she's already challenged and killed Captain Jurlek by now. Honor duels in the Klingon chain of command. So predictable. Challenge the person above you to a duel to the death. And if you win, you get their rank and position.
Klingons, Sith, very much the same, really.
Trying to reach First Officer Duran. I regret to inform you that she has been relieved of her duties permanently. But I am glad it is you who called. You are my new First Officer.
The one body.
I suggest you make your way to the bridge and prepare to follow my orders. Yes, I killed her. She insulted my honor with baseless accusations of treason and then attempted to take my ship through treachery. Ah, now it makes sense. As my new First Officer, I hope you are not as foolish as Duran was. Or do you want to join her in death?
Captain Jurlek killed First Officer Duran. That I did not foresee. Jurlek is a coward, and he was one we could easily remove. Duran should have been able to get the job done.
Shut up, Federation dog.
Like I said, it's my business to know things. Captain Jurlek wants to trade me for his life. More of your crewmates will die in the process. If you have other plans, well, don't let me tell you what you need to do.
One thing I've never understood about the tutorial is why is like Federation trying to get Section 31's guy back when later on we deal with him quite openly as both Federation and Klingon forces. Never really thought about it until now. There we go. Hi, Captain Jurlek.
You have arrived.
Use a batleth.
Are you fit?
Proper Klingon honor.
And by stand with the crew, I assume you mean kill the captain and take his place?
Yes, that's what I mean.
Well, you don't understand. The Federation is the enemy the Klingon Empire cannot defeat. Time and time again, for centuries now, we have battled them again and again. And when we were allies, the Federation dominated us, subsuming our culture with their own. We cannot conquer them. We should not try. We will have our victories. But I am not facing off against the Federation if there is a way to avoid conflict. It's not cowardice. It's survival.
Sounds like cowardice to me.
You think you can kill me, whelp? You're welcome to try.
You dishonorable. I brought a batleth. Ah, there you go. You got your batleth out. No, we're back to guns. Dog. They'll know, in fact, Cryptic have been using that blade sound effect in their games since the start.
Kagon, son of Kerr. I now take my place as First Officer. I serve the captain, but I stand for the crew. I will enter the change of command into the record of battle. Would you like me to address the crew? Attention crew! Captain Jurlek and First Officer Doran are dead. The former second officer...
That Iron Lady's like, stupid Klingons!
I am now the first officer.
Constantly killing each other instead of fighting our real enemies.
Prepare the ship for combat. We're going after the Federation Targs who dared board our ship.
Press a beard.
Engines and shields are online, sir. I expect weapons soon. Our cloaking device may take a bit longer.
Kablah!
Your order, sir.
Complete the mission. Level up! As this is a tutorial and I'm still at warrior level, I haven't got any skill points to spend. Later on it'll have popped up saying that I've got skill points to spend. You can quickly hit K to bring up your skills window. Spend your points in the space and ground section. Hit command!
Captain, there's no sign of the Sigpa on scanners. We don't know if the Feds destroyed her, but I suggest we not worry about that just yet. Engines and shields are operational, but we need iridium to facilitate immediate repairs to other systems, and our iridium stores were lost in the ambush. Fortunately, there are some asteroids in the vicinity that might have what we need.
Increase your speed.
Okay, so because I did a load UI earlier as part of my showing you about save and load UI, it has loaded my space UI that I have on my other characters. Now, see if I can reset it so that you be able to see what it would be like. Okay. So, this is how you would normally see it as a brand new player. Sometimes, I think Starfleet's one, that is on the left. But, you would have changed, obviously, your chat window because you did that on the ground. But the rest of it pretty much will be exactly as it is as a brand new player. As I said earlier, you've got your space weapons default to having auto fire on. Make sure again that you have it set in your controls section. Controls to toggle never cancel. You want to set your power tray. Got far more options for space. So, as I said earlier, I like 3, but you can have as many as you want. Those buttons are annoying. Those buttons are your shield facing buttons, but you can control that by literally clicking on your shield facing or clicking in the center. Clicking in your particular direction of your shield facing will trigger faster recharge or moving power from one of your undamaged facings into your damaged facing by clicking those areas. If you click your center one, it will balance the shields. So if you've taken damage on, like, say, your right facing, but your others haven't, you hit balance shield, it will reduce your fully powered facings equally to reinforce the right. And so you'll have a balanced output all over the place. Get rid of that. Go back to down. You have evasive maneuvers and cloak as standard. A moment ago you saw that I was given Kagan as a first officer. If I hit U, stations, he's set up there, but his power has not been added to my tray. So I want to go to show all available skills, which is that button. Button P also brings up, there's P for powers, does the same, does it for space and ground. So Kagan has Torpedo's High Yield 1. I want that on my tray, so I add that one. You can also have it. No. Just realised it's not exactly like it would. It would have a line of officer powers. I don't have that switched on as part of my HUD. Yeah, that will show. Officer powers. So Kagan has an officer power there that I've literally just added on there. I like having my trays set up so that I control all the powers from my trays rather than having this separate officer powers that get in the way of things. You can also have it there. As you can see, I put it in 3 and there's a little 3 there to indicate that it's in button 3. Your evasive maneuvers gives you flight speed increase and turn rate increase. So if you wanted to get places, you activate that and you suddenly got a lot more maneuverability and speed. Gets you around places, especially if you're in combat, because in combat you can't use your full impulse. I want more trays.
Full stop! Sir, I recommend we use the scanners to see if this contains any iridium.
Again.
This asteroid contains no iridium, but there is that nearby field that might prove better prospecting.
Right, I want to get rid of that HUD, so that one. Now, earlier you saw that I had a tray over here.
Sir, I recommend using full impulse to reach the asteroid field.
You can add more trays on through your rearrange HUD, and you can add those through your options. You can also, I'm just going to load my old UI so I've got it back. Ah, damn it. It's gone. Okay. Do this the hard way. Rearrange HUD. Personal tray. Activate. Just back on. There we are. Right. These buttons, if you remove them, they will reappear. So I like to move them up one line, so I've got them out the way. So I've literally gone up to tray 7, tray 6 there, so I was able to move all the things on tray 6 onto tray 7. Go back down, I've got 5, 6. And I like to have my tactical ones. This is personal setup. You don't have to do this. Set it up how you want, what's best for you. I always keep my evasive maneuvers under button 0, so I'm quick on the key. With my MMO mouse, it's under my thumb. Quick hit 0, done. Cloaking, ships, certain things I put under 3. Most important, power trays. Or the power settings trays. You got red is weapons, blue shields, orange engines, and this is your auxiliary, purpley pink thing. Always have it on weapons. You can then tweak your trays, so that's your default thing. You've got it as just numbers. Tray 3 or setting 3 allows you to move your bars around and then lock them. So for instance, if I was a science person, I would have my weapons as my primary focus. I would then lock the weapons, and then I would move my auxiliary up to about 50, and then lock and lock the auxiliary, so that the other bars are now automatically changed. And as science officer, I'm going to be like piling on auxiliary bonuses, and that bar will have that extra green of bonus power. So my science powers that are based on auxiliary won't suffer from being low, because I'll have so much extra power that it will be fine, and my weapons won't suffer because it's already at maximum. Weapons power is important in the game. So, as a tactical officer, having the shields as 50, weapons and the other two are low, it's fine. Right, the tutorial. Let's see. You can click that for full impulse, or you can go Shift and R, does the same thing. Q reduces power, E increases power, R for full stop and full speed, it maxes out. You can have fire all beams, fire just torpedoes, or fire everything. Because your auto fire is switched on, the moment you press one of them, it'll activate auto fire on all of them. So it really doesn't matter what you have, what you press on there. It will activate all of them anyway. So if you were only wanting to fire your energy weapons, you would want to remove the auto fire on your torpedoes. So that's the torpedo symbol. As a Klingon, I have cannons, so I've got cannons there and a turret-based cannon at the back. Let's make quick movement as I'm running out of time.
I stopped the promising results, sir. Calibrating the scanners for a better look. Found several asteroids that contain iridium.
So I've tabbed. I'm on auto fire already, so it's just launched an attack. So take items is there. Hit F just to bring it up. F again automatically picks up everything that's there. FF. First officer.
Captain, I'm picking up a Starfleet distress signal. Seems that a frigate looking for us took a hit in a nearby asteroid field. They are disabled. Might I suggest we add to the record of battle by disposing of this Federation scum? Your order, sir.
Right, so as a Klingon, attacking from cloak gives bonus damage. So cloak up for your initial assault on pretty much anything. This is a disabled Centaur class, so it's going to be an E target. It's got shields up. I want to blast through the shields first. Decloak gives me a bonus of 15% extra damage for a short period after decloaking. So that was a lot easier attack. These Miranda classes don't have shields, so they're going to be more susceptible to torpedo fire. As part of the tutorial, you get these things where you've got no shields and so forth to deal with. In all these tutorials, it's just as a way of teaching you about shields and the different types of things. Your energy weapons are great for ripping through shields, and your torpedoes are great for ripping through hull. So when you knock a shield facing down, you get in and put a torpedo through to whack the hull.
The science officer has determined that we are unable to find the Segpa.
Fast running out of time, I'm just going to have to skip through these. Don't want to leave the tutorial incomplete before I go, otherwise it could break. Shielded. Alright. Balance shields. Shield facing down. Just put it in a high yield. Fires 2. Oh, it's turned, but did enough damage anyway to take shield facing down. Explosions hurt. Until you get a power called Brace for Impact, try and stay away from the explosions. I know as a slow starting ship it's more difficult. Use your evasive maneuvers.
This is Captain Khadgar of the IKS.
Skip. Running out of time very quickly. Get straight into the fight.
Sir, the Federation ship is...
You're making a huge mistake.
When you go into full impulse, it drains your power from everything else and puts it into engines. So don't go straight into full impulse into combat, because you will not have anything in your weapons unless you're in a full torpedo build. It is a bad idea. And this one's got its shield facing at the front down, so we're going to try and stay in front of it to get evasive maneuvers to get a little head. Turn or torpedo down. There we go. Klingon players. Bird of Preys are counted as raiders. Raiders get bonuses for firing into the back of a ship, the aft section. So if we move around to the aft, we'll actually do some more damage than we do normally. So we... it might not count for the tutorial ship. Later on, with future ships that you unlock, it will start saying flanking there as a bonus. It's like one of the few types of ships that have space flanking. Normally flanking is only on the ground, so you would on the ground use that as a way of doing extra damage by hitting people from behind and so forth, getting an ambush.
We're going to stay here while repairs are underway.
Free stuff. Continue.
Congratulations.
Port Kronos. Tutorial complete. Well, the first stage of the tutorial. The important one that you don't want to quit, otherwise it could break. We're here at Kronos.
So you're
Teams. Yeah.
Are you the one delivering my guard?
Skip. Hit escape to skip any cutscenes. There are a handful in the game that you can't escape from. It's good to like quickly move things along. Right, I'm gonna have to call it there as I have to head out. I will continue on as there will be other sections of the powers, your bridge officer setup and so forth that I will want to talk through. I'll also want to talk through the duty officer system, the PvE task force system, and fleets, as well as the dilithium store and the Zen store, and your various different options within the game that will be on higher level characters. Thank you for watching. This will upload to YouTube as well for future reference. Please keep watch on my channel for the next episode of Star Trek Online How to Play. Till next time, bye.